PlayStation's State of Play is underway, Tiny Tina's Wonderland is getting full crossplay, and Overwatch 2 beta is coming soon. Hold on to your butts, we got a lot of games to talk about. Hey.
I don't really know what that was.
Big Connect! Trying to hit my brain. I was trying to think of how I could do like that.
Dude, that is a name I have not heard in a long time. Like, if you want to talk, like, if we were to get into like Bitcoins and NFTs and scams and things like that, BitConnect is one of those that just. Do you ever watch, like, oh, man, you watched the video, but.
You shared it with me.
I did? Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was one night was it Phasma or something?
Oh, we were just hanging out.
And we were hanging out, and you guys were all just like, hey.
What's up?
Yeah. What's up?
Big Connect. Oh, man, that was great. So, hi, Matt. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Rich?
Doing
Welcome
good.
to the BitConnect podcast. Just kidding. The Campfire Gaming podcast, where we talk about games, not crypto, at least not yet. So, but yes, thanks for joining us tonight. We're excited to have you. We got a lot to talk about. But first off, be sure to head to campfiregamingpodcast.com. That is our website where you can find links to all our socials like Discord, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. You know the drill. Give us a like, a follow, a comment, whether it's nice or mean. We don't care. Just yell at us one way or the other.
Share.
Share. Yeah.
Sharing is caring.
Exactly. So so you can find our socials there. And as I mentioned, there's a link to Discord. Feel free to join. We love chatting with you. We have a lot of fun on Discord through the rest of the week, because obviously the podcast is usually only once a week. So you can have more fun with us there at Discord. But to kick it all off, because you love my beautiful voice, I'm going to continue talking, because I'm going to give you a brief overview of PlayStation's State of Play that happened last week. It mainly focused on Japanese publishers. Those longtime listeners of the show know that I think Rich and I are not like big into that scene too well. So
we're not super huge into the PlayStation scene in general, I don't think.
I'm probably more in it than
you more
are.
Than me. Yeah, you more than me, definitely.
But I'm definitely not into a lot of the Japanese titles. So
true.
Although a lot of stuff here looked good, it's not really our cup of tea. So we're not going to spend too much time on it. But I did want to give you some highlights, because there were some interesting looking games or some dates announced. So to kick it off, there was a game called Exo Primal, which this was one of the ones that kind of looked interesting. New game from Capcom coming next year. It pits 5 players in exosuits against dinosaurs. So I remember somebody, one of our listeners that's in our Discord, was thinking it was I think it was Dino Crisis when it was first being shown.
Oh, maybe that was me.
Was it you?
Maybe I was just being extra hopeful, because that would be something that I would desperately want, would be another Dino Crisis. But yeah, I was way wrong.
Yep. No, it looked interesting. If you're into that sort of thing, exosuits and fighting dinosaurs, this could be for you. But yes, they followed up with Ghostwire Tokyo. This is a game we've talked about before, so we're not going to spend too much time on this. It is releasing at the end of the month as well, so go check that out. It looks just.
It's weird, one of those that I think that we highlighted as one of the games that we liked during E3 last year.
Yeah. And it's exclusive to PlayStation for right now. So that was one of the last.
For now.
That was one of the one of the agreements that Microsoft upheld whenever they acquired Bethesda. So, but yeah, Forspoken was shown a little bit there. That for those that didn't hear, that is actually being delayed to October 11th. For me, this game never really spoke to me. Even the few times we talked about it last year,
it never forspoke to you.
It never forspoke to me. When we chatted about it a few times last year with some state of plays and E3. So, but if you're into those RPGs, fighting a bunch of big monsters in fantastical ways, this could be for you. So, yeah. If you're a fan of Overwatch, Gundam Evolution might be for you. I should have said,
Wow.
if you're a fan of Overwatch and Gundams, Gundam Evolution might be for you. This looks like an interesting game. It literally looks like Overwatch, but with Gundams. So,
Free to play.
yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be free to play.
and it's coming in spring 2022. So sometime in the next few months,
Yeah, that should be pretty soon here. It is officially spring in about a week.
soon.
Yep.
Yep.
As of recording.
I was going to wait to talk about this, but let's just talk about it now. Probably to me, the highlight of the show was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection. This is, as its name implies, a collection of Ninja Turtle games, 13 to be exact.
That's a lot of Ninja Turtles.
Dude, like, I'm actually excited for this. 'Cause most of these, I like Ninja Turtles, but I definitely am apparently not a big enough fan to have played many of these. But we're talking games that date as far back as arcade and NES, SNES, let's see, Genesis, some Game Boy games. So, 13 games here in total. Obviously, you're going to, when they do a lot of these collections, especially recently, you're going to get a lot of little extra goodness along with that. So, there'll be things like saving and rewind, button mapping, HD texture update.
So it's getting like the whole premium emulator treatment.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's exciting. That's coming later this year to PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and PC for $40. So keep an eye on that. We're getting a lot of Ninja Turtles
for
this
a
year.
lot of old games, but seems like it's kind of a decent bundle.
Yeah, I'm guessing they want to kind of ride the hype wave of what is it? Shredder's Revenge? Is that the?
Oh yeah.
Is that the one that's coming out that we've
I think
talked
so.
about before?
Yep.
Trying to remember the name now.
The other
Yeah.
side-scrolling fighter, the new side-scrolling fighter game that's coming out.
Yeah, which that looks awesome too.
Which
but,
yes, it does look awesome.
We'll have to all pick it up and maybe stream it sometime.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
next up, if you like fighting, if I can say this right, kaiju.
Yep. Kaiju.
Kaiju. Gigabash is for you. Seems to be kind of like a couch, brawler with up to 4 players, so you can get a bunch of kaiju in a city and just fight each other. And
yeah, it's like PvP Rampage.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Joe's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle.
Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo.
Yeah.
I have no clue what this is. I'm so confused watching through this.
Yeah.
But
Memes
it sounds like
aplenty.
a cult classic, or people really enjoy
Yes,
JoJo's.
it's popular.
There'll be 50 playable characters, it sounds like, and that is coming later this fall.
Fighting game.
Fighting game, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Trek to Yomi?
Yomi, probably? I don't know.
I think we talked about this last year. Which publisher was who's the publisher on this one? It's slipped my mind here. This is an interesting side scroller, Devolver Digital, that's what it is. From them, a side scroller, kind of Japanese fight 'em up. I don't even know, side scroller beat 'em up game. So looks pretty interesting. It's one of those kind of artsy, almost indie looking type games. But I mean, a lot of those games coming from Digital Devolver are kind of cool looking like that. So, but yes, this one is actually coming sometime this spring. Must be the new fad to just say it's coming in a season instead of a date.
I don't know about. I mean, especially when you don't when the date is kind of up in the air and they don't know how done it's gonna be.
But like so recently, like spring, like you don't know.
That's true. Like spring is basically almost
a
now.
month or two out.
Yeah. So they got about 3-month window, roughly. Well, yeah, about a 3-month window.
Yeah. But yeah, look for that coming soon. Returnal. I don't know if I guess this is an update, a Returnal Ascension, I guess is what you'd call it. Yeah, free update with campaign co-op and a new survival mode that is coming here. I guess actually next week as of recording, which would be the 22nd.
Wow.
Of March. Yeah, exciting. So
wow.
If you have, I've heard good things about Returnal.
I have too.
Again, not not one of those games that I typically play. I also don't
Yes,
have a PlayStation 5, so
exactly. Well, who does?
I
Like
know
we have
like
one
two people
person.
now.
Yeah, there's like one person in Discord that has a PlayStation 5. No, no, two. There's two
Two.
people in Discord with a PlayStation 5.
Yep. So,
Congratulations to you two gentlemen.
yep. I hope you two enjoy Returnal and
Yes.
this free update.
Yep.
So, and then there was the Diofield Chronicle and Valkyrie Elysium. I didn't know what was going on there. So, if those are games you know and you like, I hope you enjoy them. So, but yeah, that was pretty much the PlayStation State of Play.
It was pretty
Um,
short. It was like 20 minutes.
it was not long.
Yeah.
Uh, my only complaint, and we've been getting spoiled with this.
This is more like a PlayStation Nintendo Direct, but like
Yeah,
shorter, which is kind
I,
of weird.
I,
Well, I
I
guess like it's not maybe not like that much shorter because the last Nintendo Direct that we had,
about
it
20
was like 40.
minutes.
No, it was like 40 minutes long.
Oh no, that's right.
The
Yeah,
one like that was like just in February or whatever. Yeah,
yeah,
that was a long one. That was like 45 minutes. That was a lot of stuff in that
you're
one.
right.
And but normally I think they're usually pretty short to like 20, 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, no, PlayStation's definitely been kind of copying what Nintendo's been doing with a lot of these shorter, smaller
Mhm.
updates. Whether it's focusing on one game or in this case something like the Japanese publishers, uh, which is
Not a
pretty
bad idea.
cool.
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah.
bad idea. I mean, I kind of
Uh,
like the formula. I mean, like you do run into things like what happened with the like with our reaction to the Nintendo Direct, that 45-minute Direct. It was 45
yep.
minutes and we got like almost nothing out of it because like there
Yeah.
was a lot of people were pretty mixed in reaction because they were expecting things like what's going to happen with Breath of the Wild 2 or Metroid
Yep.
Prime 4 and you didn't see any of that. You saw a lot of like Fire Emblem of fighter, a warriors
Yep.
fire emblem game. That's not
I
really what we people care about, but sure.
I do like both PlayStation and Nintendo have been doing this though. Is before they have these events, they've been slowly starting to say, "This is
Oh,
what we're
yeah.
covering."
Yep. They
Like
get in
maybe not
front of
exact
it.
game, yeah, because like a day or two before this state of play, it was like we're not like talking VR2 PlayStation VR2 hardware. We're not showing any games off. We're talking Japanese publishers
Yep.
and some games coming from them. I remember before that Nintendo Direct, we're talking about I think what was it coming in the first half of the year,
Mhm.
games that are coming out in the first half of the year, right? So like,
Yep.
so if you're
They
getting
try
just
to they try to
great,
pump the brakes on the
yeah,
hype train. Yeah.
I get it. Maybe you miss the update, from them, but like for people that read that and then they go into it expecting you're going to get surprise drop of, all these other games that, you know, reveals and all that stuff, then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. But I do like that PlayStation and Nintendo have been doing that recently because, you don't have to worry about getting your hopes up, or you can
Yeah.
get your hopes up if you're excited about whatever it is they're
I mean,
talking about.
Nintendo's been doing this for a couple of years now, and it seems like a pretty solid formula to work with because it's working out really well for them.
Yep.
And I mean, for state of play, wasn't bad
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, just as we mentioned, we're not big into a lot of the games from these publishers, so
Right.
it's kind
Yeah.
of we're a little
Yeah.
light on conversation and opinion there. So,
Right.
um, but what I did want to say that I wish PlayStation would start doing is, we've been getting spoiled with both, well, Nintendo, but more Microsoft. When you do one of these streams, because they're always a live stream, right?
Mhm.
And then they're all, if you watch it live, it's crappy video. It's just something you expect now, right? When you're watching something live stream like that. But Microsoft has spoiled us through the last probably I think 2 years or so. Is immediately after they stream it, they upload like a 4K version, and I was like, man, I didn't get to watch State of Play live, so I was like, oh, let me throw on the really nice visual. Oh, nope, I got to watch the stream quality, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I wish, you know if you're is it what's his name? Is it Jim Ryan who's CEO over there now? If you're listening, please start uploading 4K videos of
I
your
don't know if
streams
he has
afterwards.
much pull
The streaming, the state of
over the
plays,
streaming. Yeah. Nor do I think he really cares.
probably not. No,
That's just a guess, though. I am not Jim Ryan.
you could be.
Do I want to be?
That's the question.
That is the question.
We got a little bit of an update on another game that I think both of us are excited. Coming later
Definitely.
this month.
Yeah,
Uh,
coming this
Tiny,
month.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Yep.
There was a small bit of news, but exciting news nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Announced the last couple days. They announced what the end game was. Something called Chaos
Chaos.
Chamber.
Yeah, the Chaos Chamber.
It's endlessly replayable core end game experience. Um, but yeah, it seems just like it's going to be like basically randomized dungeons that are going to be exciting, that are just going to give you more opportunity to get some sweet
Some
loot.
fat loot.
Yeah.
Because that is what we want is fat loot.
Yep. And I felt really dumb. It's funny because Rich, the other day we were talking about this, and you're like, "Oh, we should play together," and I was like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
guess I'll have to finally buy it on PC instead of Xbox, like I bought all the others." And
Mm-hmm.
literally, the article
The
came out a
article
few
right
hours
above it.
earlier,
It was what I was commenting on.
which
Yeah.
yeah, it was funny because it popped in our Discord that crossplay is coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, so you guys can
Yep.
play together, which is fantastic. More games need to do this, and I know it's becoming more common, but
Well,
I just
especially
it
with
was just
games
one of
that you
those
can co-op with,
yeah.
man. Like being competitive multiplayer is one thing. Co-op games just let us play together, man. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we all want to do. We don't want to be tied down to a console when our friend was one of the 5 people that got a PlayStation, and then we have to figure out how to play with them, or just say we can't. But no, we have crossplay.
Yep.
So we're going to
So,
play
but
crossplay.
it felt really dumb that I looked at that article and then you said, "Who's going to play with me?" And I was like, "I guess I'll get it on PC so we can play together."
I mean, getting it on PC is the right
Yep.
choice, I
But
will
see,
say, but you know,
I was thinking Xbox Series X because I don't have a sexy PC. I mean, it works. It plays the games I want it to, but it doesn't have 4K HDR. I don't
ray
know if I
tracing,
don't think ray tracing's in this.
I don't know. I don't
I think
remember.
it's
I don't think
eh.
so.
But anyways, we'll see. I'm excited to play this game, so uh
Well, it doesn't matter. You can buy it on
on
your
whatever.
Xbox and we can still play together.
There you go.
Go
All right,
us.
go us. But yeah, we'll have to find 2 other people to run through it with us, so that'll be a good time. But some other kind of interesting news. There was a Dead Space remake audio stream, or the Sound of Fear reimagined. It was basically a bunch of developers got onto a live stream and chatted about some of the really cool changes, or not changes, updates, kind of bringing the game forward into the current, gaming, PC and console um, systems, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the cool stuff you can do with it now that you couldn't do with systems and PC, whatever, back when this game first released. Um, and it was just it's just really cool. I guess it's hard to talk about audio without listening to some of the examples they made, but they're doing a really good job. One of the big things that I think is exciting is audio occlusion. Basically, older games didn't really have this concept of, like, some of them did. Again, it varied by game, but like the old game used to have, where if there was an audio source and it was on the other side of a wall, there's a good chance you could actually hear that. Where now they're actually kind of creating it so audio travels realistically through hallways. So an example they did was like kind of this U-shaped hallway where on the one end, in a room, there was some noise coming there, and in the first game they had what's his name? Is it Ethan? Oh shoot, what's his name? I haven't played the first game myself. Oh, did I not write it down? Whatever. I think his name was Ethan, the character in Dead Space. But they had him in a hallway, and they showed a clip from the first game where you could hear the audio coming. You could spin around, whatever, it was just kind of coming from that direction. And then they switched over to the remake with this audio collusion, and it's essentially kind of like 3D audio. And not only was it a little bit echoey and more fainter, it was coming from like down the hallway, because it was correctly echoing through this U-shaped hallway. So it was
That's pretty sick.
yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, and what's really neat is they're, as you would expect, things like guns are getting upgrades, so they're doing a lot more with layering of the audios to make the feel and sound of the guns just sound more rich and feel like there's more impacts. They kind of demoed off like they're like, here's the plasma cutter, and shot it a bunch. It's cool sound. Then they went through like a 30-second video where they stepped through like the 10 different sounds that make up the guns shooting sound. So
I mean, graphics are definitely cool to look at, but I mean, what I think really sells the game is the audio. Like, it's one of those things that is very underappreciated because it always just blends so well with the rest of the game. But when it's really good, ooh, it
yep,
just
it's
sells the atmosphere.
especially in like kind of like a horror type survival game. I don't know if that's the correct genre for this, but it's a scary game, so you want that
Right.
sound to be accurate and creepy. And one of the
Hmm.
cool things they're doing is they're calling it the Alive system.
The
In the,
Alive system.
in the original game, whenever your health was getting low or you're running or kind of scared, you could hear Ethan's like heartbeat and heavy breathing. And they're just really improving on that a lot more. They again, kind of the examples they gave was a lot of that audio used to play over top of each other, and
Hmm.
now they're just kind of like, oh, they were showing us some like there's like a fatigue level now that they have behind the scene where like instead of just having a flat like he's running out of breath or heartbeat, they actually speed it up, or slow it down depending on your fear level, your fatigue level, and your health level. So again, just kind of a more richer experience to kind of uh, have Ethan react to his health or the environment around him.
Right.
Again,
Just have.
it's hard. I'm excited to talk about this, but it's hard to talk about it and describe what you listen to with this. So I definitely highly recommend going and watching this developer stream if you're really into audio. But yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. No, this is some really cool tech, and this is stuff that I really really like when games do this. Like even um I think even games like Doom Eternal, how they went into the behind the scene, or even the original the Doom 2016, how they went behind the scenes and talked about the tech behind like dynamically changing the audio depending on like how intense they were gauging like the combat was getting or something like
mm-hmm.
that. Oh my god, it's just like I said, like it's that graphics are great to look at, but audio sells the immersion in my opinion. Like audio is what
Yep,
really really makes it feel like you're part of everything.
yep. And it can we chatted about this a little bit the other night when we were just chatting about some things. Is uh like it can really add to the gameplay too with when you
Mhm.
have that 3D audio stuff. I remember I think one of the first games where it really realized how it impacted gameplay was Rainbow Six Siege and how accurate a lot of like the
Footsteps
running, the
and
footsteps,
yep,
the sounds, and
yep.
little things like reloading, where it actually is information to you to be able to play better or worse if you ignore it. So
Mhm.
um, it's just really cool, and yeah, a game that spends time on developing a really good audio system, and it's yeah, it's awesome. It just adds to the game. It's great.
Mhm.
Some other little tidbits. Obviously they're going to be using the original soundtrack, but it sounds like they're going to be recording a lot of that into like from an orchestra, so it sounds good. Again, it's something that's a lot of remakes do. The
New
last bit
remastered
was,
soundtrack.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh, the last bit of news, which was it was in a weird way, Dead Space remake got delayed, but nobody really knew about it. I guess there was some target dates that Motive Studio was trying to hit, kind of behind the scenes, but was never talked about. I think originally it was they were hoping to get it out by the end of the year here, but now it's again kind of a rough estimate, but it sounds like they're aiming for sometime early sometime next year. So 2023 is yeah, it's a whole year, but hopefully it'll be in the first half, I guess,
That
since it sounded
I mean
like they
that's something
wanted
that
to
you could
do it.
hope.
Yeah, and the one thing they did stress was none of this is due to, like the game being in trouble or anything weird like this. No, they're hopefully looking at the landscape of all the games that have been coming out the last few years and realize, you know what, we should actually really do a good job with this before we
Yep.
release it instead of just try to
Of
hit a
all the
date.
right, just with all the remasters and things like that that have come out and absolutely like belly flopped into the pool.
Yep. I mean, we could expand past remakes, but yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Major franchise games that have belly flopped into the pool. No, we'll
Doesn't
save
even
that
have
to
to be
the end.
major. Doesn't even have to be major franchises. It could be
That
new
too.
IPs.
Yeah, fair.
So that's why I kept it general. It's just the gaming landscape.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited for this game. I'm someone that has never played Dead Space series, but I've always wanted to play Dead Space 1 and 2. Nothing against 3, but I know people, I think it's kind of a little bit controversial, but that one sounded like it went more action and kind of like the suspenseful horror type. So that was one that, I don't know, maybe I'll really get into Dead Space and then I'll end up playing that. But yeah.
It's a good franchise, at least so I've heard. I'm like you, I have not played Dead Space either. Any of the Dead Space games, but I have heard lots of good things about it.
Maybe that'll be our depending on when it comes out
book
next
club?
year, our 2023 October book club.
Early book club? Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah. We could see how spooked out we get from playing with the new audio and all that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Next up, we have some Overwatch 2 news. I'm going to let you take this away since I wrote some notes here, but
you don't know what they mean?
I'm just kidding. They're words. They're words, and I don't know.
That is fine. So Overwatch 2, yes, the long anticipated Overwatch 2 that was announced, I think, like a year and a half, maybe even close to 2 years ago. We are now getting some progress on when this is going to be playable. Nothing necessarily in terms of a release date, but a couple of weeks or last week or so, they being Blizzard, announced that the closed alpha testing has already started. They have described this alpha testing as being, Overwatch internal development, pro players, a very small select few, probably like a family and friends thing, group of people that are being invited into this alpha. However, you can get into the beta, which is coming late April. So if you're interested in getting into the beta for Overwatch 2, go to playoverwatch.com, sign up for the beta. Some of the features that they've talked about, that they've outlined in a community update, were as follows. They are going to be keeping it the 5v5 system. So that's one of the major changes that kind of shook the core of Overwatch 2 from the start, or shook Overwatch from the start, is that it's no longer a 6v6. It is a 5v5 game. Mm-hmm. You get a new hero, Sojourn. I think that's how you say that. You're going to be getting a couple of new maps. One of them is an escort map called Circuit Royal, Midtown, new Queen Street, which is one of the push maps. That's one of the new modes, actually, is called Push. Some hero reworks, and a new pinging system. So these are all the things that you are going to be able to try in the Overwatch 2 beta. Personally, I don't know. One of the big things that they announced with this update is that they wanted to try and get the PvP out to people faster. Mm-hmm. And so with that, they're kind of focusing on getting the PvP out the door first, and then the PvE comes later. That is a huge red flag to me, because there is another game that we are very familiar with that did something kind of similar, where the PvP was kind of shipped as kind of like its own product, and it was its own thing, and the PvE side of it was, almost like a completely different type of product.
Yeah.
I know this is something that people are really, really excited for, that there is going to be that there is even going to be a PvE portion to Overwatch 2. It was something that people have been asking from Overwatch 1 for, years. They had one event that was like a PvE based event, and it was pretty awesome, actually. And it kind of made me realize, like, wow, they actually should just do this. Like, this is actually really cool. So the fact that this is kind of getting segmented out, in my opinion, is kind of a red flag. I get that they're trying to get PvP in the hands of testers sooner so that they can get a lot of this new competitive stuff figured out. But at the same time, it's just like one of those, I already see the same process coming in where it's like PvE is going to be kind of boxed into its own thing. The PvE is going to suffer. They're going to try and release the PvP first, and then the PvE is going to come later. And then by later, it's like this feature will come later, that feature will come later, it'll be half baked coming out. Like that's kind of my concern with
It's a
that.
live service, so it's never finished.
Right, it's never finished, and I'm worried that they're going to give it the live service treatment, but um I mean, what can you do, right? That's kind of the world that we live in right
Yeah.
now.
I played Overwatch 1 and I enjoyed it, but it was one of those, it was definitely one of those casual, like I really only played it when my friend wanted to play it, right? And I had fun with it, but um I just, I don't know, I'm just not interested in Overwatch 2. Like, and then like you were saying with the them decoupling PvP from PvE, I found that odd for a game that's, I don't know. Did we ever? I know we discussed back when it first came out, but did we ever get any like real news on why this? Because I know there was a discussion about, is this really even a sequel? Because they're just kind of, wasn't they're building off the original game or just kind of adding. There was a lot of confusion around that. I remember when this was first announced, and it was just,
Right. We did talk about this at one point, and I think it was an episode that we had either last year or like close to like maybe late 2019 or something like that, where we were chit-chatting about how it seemed like more of an expansion pack
yeah,
than a full-on sequel. We haven't seen enough yet to really say otherwise, but yeah, like it, from what we understand, it's kind of like they're reworking a bunch of things, they're adding in a few new features, and it does kind of seem like more or less of an expansion pack. So yeah, we'll see. That
yeah,
was the claim back then. I haven't really seen any big updates that made me think otherwise. So be sure to correct me if you're
yeah.
listening and you think, oh, well, they clearly showed this thing. Jump on our Discord and link it to me. I'd love to read it.
In all fairness, we probably didn't hear much about the game, and if there was much talked about the game, it was probably lost in all the noise of all the Activision
Of all the Blizzard,
stuff
yeah,
that's
all the
been
Blizzard
going on.
stuff. Yeah,
Because I know
that's
we've
also
heard,
true.
I've seen Overwatch 2 information, but it's usually nothing related to the actual game itself, more just the development and people around the
Hmm.
development. So,
Yeah, when Jeff
uh,
Kaplan pieced out of the
yeah,
Overwatch team, it was a pretty big deal. But yeah, that was the biggest Overwatch 2 news that I remember in recent memory.
yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
that's it as far as Overwatch 2. I mean, that's the big update is that the beta is coming soon. There's going to be a couple of maps, and they're going to be focusing on PvE or PvP first to
yeah,
get it out sooner.
it'll be interesting. I mean, again, I enjoyed the game, the first one I played it, so I'm hopeful that maybe this will be something awesome and surprise me.
Yep.
That
Yeah, I think
time will
I'll
tell.
probably sign up for the beta and then give it a try because I mean I played quite a bit of ranked. I mean I didn't get very far. I think I got like somewhere in diamond. I think is where I was, but so not really that good.
Hmm.
Um, but it was really like the ranked was pretty fun. I think I mean I ended up getting burned out of it after a while, and then I think um, I get distracted with a lot of other games, so I don't usually commit to it for very long.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to try it just to at least give it like get that impression to see like, okay, is this really more or less an expansion pack, or does this feel like a sequel?
No, yeah, a proper sequel.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe I'll sign up here too, and then we can. You
Play
can
Overwatch.
carry me since you're a
Dude,
since
I'd
you're
be
a
I'd be
pro
glad
player.
to. Pro player, please.
Oh, it's been a while, but we have some bombshell acquisition news here.
Wow.
Like some big news. Not really, but some exciting news nonetheless. I know we've talked in the past about Netflix wanting to get into games, and it seems they bought a studio called Next Games, based out of Helsinki, Finland.
Hmm.
They are the developers of the Stranger Things Puzzle Tales and two different Walking Dead games. So um, I'm still curious. It's obviously takes time. Well, I'd say that's obvious to a lot of people. It takes time to make video games, but obviously Google didn't understand that. Oh, burn.
Oh.
Um, but it'll be interesting to see what the plans are here with Netflix and stuff. I think that was last fall we chatted about that where they wanted to get into games and they picked up. I'm trying to remember. It's the studio that made Oxenfree last year. But yeah, I'm really curious to see kind of what, like, they can't be tackling AAA games, obviously, but
Not unless they're
it'll be
trying to compete with something like Amazon. But I mean, even
yeah,
Amazon's not even doing that good at it either.
yeah.
New World is kind of also belly flopped pretty hard on its
And well,
still,
they
I guess.
what was the game Crucible? Was
Crucible
their other
got
one
canned, yeah.
that like that was one of those, it launched, it was ripped apart by people who tried it, and then it went into like a beta, and then it was like canceled.
Mhm.
That was a really weird
Yeah, so I
weird
mean,
time
even
for that game.
Amazon with their first party games, they're not they've done very little with what they got.
From what I understand is it's a lot of it's just they don't understand the industry. Yeah, they have the money, but they,
But you
it
need to
sounded
understand
like,
your customer. I mean,
yeah, it's,
that's kind of what made Amazon successful in the first place. Same with Netflix, right?
yeah,
Knowing what exactly you're trying to give, what you're trying to give gamers, right? It's not always like gamers aren't always looking for like the next big thing, even though that's what Twitch would have you believe is that everybody's just playing the next big thing. Not necessarily,
yeah, yeah. Rich and I,
especially if
we've
it bombed.
successfully
Like
avoided Elden Ring, so
for now, that'll
for
probably
now.
change.
But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about any more gaming news around Netflix as it comes out, especially since I'm kind of curious to see what they do. But another, I guess is kind of, I've never actually used this software, but it's a name that's floated around for a while. Epic Games bought Bandcamp. So
Hmm.
yeah, standalone marketplace and music community. So
Hmm.
uh, just kind of a interesting move. Um, from what I was reading, it sounds a little bit kind of like the, maybe not on the same level, but that whole like they bought them, but they're gonna kind of leave them alone type thing, kind of like with Sony and Bungie. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a weird acquisition whenever I heard about it.
Right.
So I don't know. How are we gonna get Bandcamp into Fork Fight? Is what I want to know.
That's probably yeah. You start playing music in Fortnite now.
God, it's one of those things where I'm gonna hate to be right when it happens.
Yep.
So I think it was the Game Awards. We got the first glimpse at Star Wars Eclipse by
Yes.
Quantic Dreams.
Believe so.
Uh, there was a article by Tom Henderson that he put out. Now this is all kind of like insider, take it with a grain of salt type thing. Um, but in his article, it was kind of a little bit he mentioned about this game that kind of took me by surprise. I guess I was under the impression when I saw that trailer that um, it was at least a little bit into development, but according to Tom Henderson, this actually 3 to 4 years out. So I was kind of surprised at this game or this trailer that looked awesome. Uh, it was like it almost came across as a trailer for like, hey, we're going to make this game. We haven't started yet, but it's
Yeah.
it's going to come out soon. So it's kind of if this is true, it's kind of surprising and a little disappointing because the premise kind of sounded interesting, and I've played a few Quantic Dream games and they've been a lot of fun. But I don't know if this is what potentially could be contributing to it. But Tom Henderson also had in his article that it sounds like Quantic Dreams is also having trouble hiring talent for the last couple years. Which obviously could delay any game, right? If you're not bringing it, if
Yeah.
you're potentially bleeding
Yes.
talent.
You need people to work on the game for the
Yeah.
game to be completed. Yeah.
And I'm curious. I told before the show, I said I was going to look this up if we talk about this, and I didn't do it. But I know Quantic Dreams and what's his name? I'm not gonna find it here. Oh man, David Cage. I know the studio and David Cage have been kind of a little bit under fire. They're another one of those studios that have been dealing with different like sexual harassment and
Yeah.
allegation issues and stuff. So I'm curious if that's has anything to do with their troubles for um, getting talent to come on
Getting
board.
talent. I mean, it could possibly be. I mean, to be fair though, that didn't stop Blizzard from getting talent. And
Yeah,
Blizzard was a pretty big offender of that.
yeah. It- mm, Blizzard, I like. So Quantic Dream games are
I
good.
guess they have the
I've
name.
played
Yeah,
4 or 5 of those, but to me, they're not like Blizzard level name recognition, right?
sure.
Um, I
People aren't
think
willing to put up with, you know,
a little bit
the
more to
they're not willing
work
to
on
put up with
WoW
the
or something.
shitty working conditions because they're
Yeah,
working on at Blizzard, and yeah, it's not Quantic Dream is not Blizzard, so they can't put that on their resume. I
yeah,
mean, maybe, but at the same time, I mean, Quantic Dream is a pretty well-known studio,
yeah,
so it's not like it's yeah. I mean, if unless the harassment is really that bad that it's pushing people away from even wanting to work at the studio.
yeah.
Could be. I don't
I
know.
think I think David Cage is one of those too, if I remember. Again, don't quote me on this, but I think he's one of the kind of like uh, designers that are a little difficult to work with. Is what I feel I've read over the years. So that could be another thing, you know. But yeah, regardless, I hope they speed up the development of this. Like give us a good game, but like hopefully this isn't actually 3 to 4 years out because I do like Quantic Dreams games, and at least from the CGI trailer, which obviously isn't could none of that could be in the game at all, but
Right.
the trailer at least made it seem interesting. Uh, Interesting part of the Star Wars universe that we could be playing a game
Possibly. Well, at least not for a couple of years.
in. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a while, but we're back. We want to talk to you about the Nintendo Switch Pro.
Oh,
You've missed it,
I've missed it.
dear listener. Not a lot here, but again, adding a little bit more fuel to the fire.
The rumor
That
engine.
the rumor engine that just never seems to stop, and every few months we get a little bit more. There was a Nvidia was hacked a few. God, was that a few months ago already now, or a few weeks ago? I don't know. What is time? And they were hacked, and their DLSS code was stolen. And inside that, after the hackers kind of released a little bit of it onto the internet, there was some code in there for an NVM2. Kind of again feeding the rumors of a potential Switch Pro, or what some people are thinking, maybe since Nintendo said they had no plans of launching any new models, is maybe this is actually, we could start these rumors now, a Nintendo Switch 2.
Like a new console altogether.
Whatever their new system is. Because it's we just hit last month was the 5-year anniversary for the Switch, wasn't it? Or was that earlier this month?
Oh God, no, that's yeah, it'd probably be about 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean that could definitely be early plans for their Switch 2. Maybe the Switch Pro kind of evolved into the Switch 2, or
just a brand new console instead of
yeah,
making an upgraded version.
it was one of those where
Are you sad that you bought your Switch now?
it if they announce a Switch Pro anytime in the next 9 months, yes. I will be even more disappointed if they announce it and then it comes out sometime this year.
No,
But
I don't think they'd work that fast.
I am enjoying my Switch, so
Good.
no rush there because I have a backlog of games on the Switch to play.
Good.
Yeah, yep,
Well, we got to keep our eye out.
yep.
That Switch Pro could be one day a thing.
Hopefully, I'm still a
Hopefully.
believer.
Yep.
On
Speaking of new
to
consoles,
speaking of rumors of new consoles, there was I think was this a where did this code come from? I think this came from a Windows update. Um, there was reference to a product Xbox Keystone, so a
mhm,
new model of Xbox of some sort that was in an update for, again, I think it was Windows 11 is where it came, or probably just Windows in general. But so the rumor mills are starting there. This could be just a simple explanation of the I don't know if it was ever titled. We'll call it the Xbox Cloud Stick. That was kind of announced in a way. I think it was last fall, so it could
Mm-hmm.
just be that.
Yeah.
Could be the rumored Xbox Series esque, but a discless version. Or we're a year and a half in. It seems early, but it could always be a early reference to a mid generation refresh of the series, the Xbox Series. So most likely it's probably the streaming stick that they talked about. But
Yeah. I think that honestly would be it because I feel like it's a bit early to be talking about
yeah,
new consoles.
yeah. Again,
We just got the Series X, so I don't think they're it's too early. But yes, the cloud thing seems way more likely than anything else because that is their kind of new frontier that they're going down. So I wouldn't be surprised.
and they already said they were making one, so kind of
Yeah, it kind of
makes
fits.
sense. Again, the only other kind of as the rumor mill was starting up on this, the only other one that I could maybe believe was again the discless Series X, but that rumor has kind of been floating around for the last year and a half since Xbox launched.
But would
So
that be given like a completely different key name though?
yeah,
It would.
yep,
Oh, okay.
pretty
Because the
sure.
Scarlett is for both Xbox Series X and S.
Is it? I thought they had a. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'm
So I
probably
would,
wrong.
yeah, I would
Probably
think that
wrong.
it would probably be still under that same key name.
I thought. Yeah, whatever. It's probably the streaming stick. So, but I'm sure we'll talk about it when it
Yep,
actually officially gets announced.
absolutely. We will.
We're kind of coming to the end here. We got a bunch of other little tidbits of some exciting news happening, but very little information. We have Gotham Knights, that game I think I was looking forward to because I've really enjoyed the Arkham series. Um, that is coming on October 25th. That's literally all the news we got. Just a tweet the
Yep,
other day, just like it's coming in October.
it's
So
it's it's
cool.
coming.
Yeah, which should be exciting. And since we're getting up here to towards show season, I imagine the marketing campaign will pick up, and we'll probably have a lot more coming from that. So,
Exciting times. You want to
bummer
play as
news.
Nightwing?
Yeah. Well, you can play. What is it?
Nightwing,
Nightwing,
Batgirl,
Batgirl, Robin
Robin,
Hood, Red
Red
Hood. Yeah,
Hood. Yep.
because Batman's dead. Oh no.
Spoiler. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
they announced it already. Sorry, ruined it. I ruined it. The game for a ton of people already.
This next one made me. This next one depressed me a little bit. Advance Wars, 1 and 2 reboot camp got delayed all the way until like August, I think.
Yep. How did I not
Yeah.
write that down here? I'm so good at taking notes sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was August.
It was
I think it
supposed
was
to
the
be
first week in
early.
August.
Yeah, it was supposed to be early next month, which I was so excited for because I was definitely going to play it with Matt, and then it
Yeah,
gets pushed back.
yeah.
Now I'm sad.
But at least it's still coming. It wasn't canceled.
Nope, it was not canceled yet.
So, Stalker 2 also got delayed as well. This should come as no surprise to anyone. They are a Kiev-based studio in Ukraine. If you pay attention to the news, there's yeah,
For
it's
obvious
delayed.
reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. So, I was kind of looking forward to that one.
Stalker 2?
So yeah, that was one of the games from the Xbox show last year that I've never played the first Stalker, but this one looked interesting. So, Elite Dangerous development for consoles has been terminated.
Rip.
Um, this was a game I really wanted to get into, and I think did I buy it? I might
I
actually
have it.
bought it. It was
Yeah.
another one of those
It's a
games that
space sim. Yeah.
yeah that came out. Didn't that come out the same time as what's the game that you've been playing a lot? Star
Oh,
Citizen.
Star Citizen?
Didn't those
I
kind
think
of
it
come
came
out
out a
around the
little
same
bit
time?
later, but it was always like I think it always was more like a single player experience, but they've added in like multiplayer and a lot of other features in between that. So now they're like, I don't know, they're trying to go kind of tit for tat with Star Citizen, even though
Yeah.
Star Citizen is still in really rough shape. But I mean, yeah, okay, so the two code bases, there's one for PC and the console. They're not doing development for consoles anymore. It's just too strenuous for them,
Yep.
according to them. Or according to the development team, it's too strenuous to try and keep up with both code bases. So they're focusing more on the PC side of Elite Dangerous.
It makes sense. We've worked it on projects where um,
Trying to maintain
supporting
multiple platforms.
multiple platforms, and
Ugh.
and yeah, it's just
Ugh.
it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
especially to keep quality up, and get things completed in a timely fashion. So it's unfortunate for anybody that plays this on console, but I think overall for the game, this is going to be better. I guess unless they start building up a larger team that can support both, but
Yeah, I
I
mean
don't think that's going to happen.
yeah, I mean the last Elite Dangerous, last major Elite Dangerous update kind of made waves because it was pretty low in quality, and people were pretty pissed about it because it ended up breaking a lot of the stuff in the game.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah. So this might be a reaction to that. They're probably pushing back and saying like, this is too much to try and do this on both consoles and PCs. So we just want to focus, which is
Yeah.
fine. As a PC gamer, I'm okay with that. Sorry, console players.
Sorry, scrubs. Get good.
Yep, get good.
But talking about getting good,
Metacritic ratings.
Yeah, Metacritic handed out some awards to publishers based on their overall average Metascore of games they released
Wow.
in 2021. And I was a little surprised at this, especially since we've talked a lot about how we don't think review scores for a certain game don't reflect its quality or fun.
Yeah.
But Microsoft came in first with an average Metascore of 87.4 across their titles. Games like Forza, Halo, Psychonauts 2. So yeah, that was actually in a way, obviously I'm going to fanboy here for a second, but after the debacle of the Xbox One launch and years and years of real shit games coming from Microsoft, it's kind of nice to see them putting out, at least according to Metacritic, some better games.
Right. Which we could throw this into question that they got first on a very legitimate premises.
Yeah.
Because as you said, there are a few games in there that were very questionable about their Metacritic scores.
Yep. But and for reference, Sony, to no surprise, came in second with an average score of 81.3, and Nintendo came in 14th.
What are you doing, Nintendo?
Yeah, what? But
which is weird because a lot of the games that they have are pretty good.
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I kept clicking because it was one of those I hate when sites do this. Like each rating is its own page, so you had to and there was no let me just jump to the 5th or the 10th or whatever. It was just like, okay, I got to keep clicking. So I had to keep clicking to find Nintendo at 14th. So yeah, come on, Nintendo. But yeah, I'm wondering if theirs is more like they probably put out more games than the other than Sony and Microsoft, and just they probably had a lot of better games, but also but since they put out such a large library of games, there was probably a few in there that brought it down. But
yeah, it could be.
But yeah, as we mentioned, event season, show season is coming up here soon, and we're starting to get some information about that here. Gamescom 2022 will be a hybrid event. So we'll have a in-person and online presence for you to attend and enjoy the festivities. That will take place between August 23rd. That's when the opening night ceremony will start. So really it starts on the 24th there to the 28th. So, and Gamescom in the last couple of years has been getting a little more exciting, I feel, at least opening night.
Yeah.
Not quite on, even though E3's kind of been dying for the last couple of years, but not quite on that excitement and as much information level, but it's definitely been becoming a better show, in my opinion, the last few years.
Right. Yeah, E3 needs to kind of pick up their game because Gamescom is gonna quickly pass that up. Because E3 season was always like gamer holiday season.
Yep.
No,
it's E3. I mean, I've spoken how much I like it just from the enjoyment of years and years. But it's definitely been a dying show.
Mm-hmm.
But talking E3, Microsoft is looking to do kind of like one of their press conference or show style events in June, based on the fact that it sounds like E3 might not be a thing at all this year, digital or in person. So they've been Microsoft has been reaching out to different publishers to try to put something together. Um, Obviously, when we find out more, we'll let you know. And also, it's not even a for sure thing that E3 might be canceled. That's just a rumor floating around. But now there's a new rumor saying that it's just going to be a digital event. But it really, until they at least try to do another in person event, it really feels like E3 is like on life support at this point.
Yeah, the whole pandemic thing was really not
It was
not
already,
good. It was
yeah,
already going downhill, and then yeah,
they definitely, was it the ESA heads that up? I think it is. They really didn't do a good job of like a lot, like everybody else, shows and publishers. They really kind of pivoted and figured out ways to get this information to consumers, in fun and unique ways. And E3 just kind of, I don't know, they haven't figured it out, and I think they're still trying to figure it out here. In theory, about 2 months away from when they typically would have 2.5 months away from when we
mm-hmm.
typically have an E3 event. So yeah, I don't know. You'll hear more news from us when we figure out when E3 figures out what they're doing.
Right,
But
yeah.
um,
E3 needs to figure that out before we can tell you about it.
yeah. So Microsoft is trying to figure out if they're doing or they're going to be doing an event here, because E3 might be gone, but E3 might not be gone. It might be digital. So who knows? But yeah. Some exciting news. Just a couple months ago, God of War came out on PC. If you have PC or PlayStation, you should definitely play this game. But the news we got is not about the game. It's actually about a potential live action TV series that is in currently early talks of potentially coming to Amazon Prime Video,
Hmm.
which could be exciting.
Could be a good
Uh,
thing, could be a very bad thing.
it's hard to tell anymore. I
Yeah,
mean, all these different cool IPs. Sometimes they're quality entertainment. Other times they're boring. Other times they're just mediocre. So
they're cynical and kind of a catch grab.
yeah, and
A few other big franchises we know are kind of going through that right now.
and
Even at Amazon, I mean,
yeah.
a lot of people are not very happy with the first look of the Lord of the Rings stuff that Amazon's pumping out. So
Well, I remember before the holidays, there was this big uh, marketing campaign around. I think it was called Wheel of Time, which
yeah,
is a book series that is beloved by many. From my understanding, I haven't read it, but they were all pumping up, getting all excited about it. But I just realized the other day when I was reading this news, I was like, whatever happened to that? Because that was supposed to be the next Game of Thrones, right? Everybody's watching it, everybody's excited about it, everybody's
nothing
talking about
happened.
it week to week. I haven't heard
Yeah,
anything about it since it
yep.
released, so I am curious to check it out, because it looked like it could be interesting. But it sounds like at least it's not a, I guess, Game of Thrones level yet.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'd be excited to see depending on what they do, and a live action series of God of War could be fun.
Could be.
But do you want to take away this next bit of news?
Hell yeah. All right. So if you know anything about online competitive gaming or online anything multiplayer stuff, you've probably heard of FaZe Clan. Well, your boy Snoop Dogg has now joined FaZe Clan. Yep, that's right.
Oh snap!
Yep, he is now Snoop. FaZe Snoop is how he is going to be. Is who he is now. Sounds like he's actually just joining he's joining the organization. He's joining, like, I think their board of directors or something like that. Yeah, he's joining the board of directors, and he's going to be helping with like brand management and things like that. So um I just thought this was hilarious that Snoop is part of FaZe Clan. So good for Snoop.
Yeah, he's involved with a lot of stuff,
He
especially in
does get,
gaming.
yeah, he does. I love his stream when he does it. His
I
Twitch
like
stream,
watching the I watch like watching the clips of him like rage
the
quitting and
rage
stuff.
streams. Oh yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Um, moving on from that though, I mean, we talked a little bit about this last week, but Elden Ring is doing very well for itself. So it was released February 25th. It was the best-selling game in February of 2022. Peaked at almost 1 million concurrent players on Steam, capped out at about 950,000.
Yeah. That's
So
insane.
that makes sense why, like I said last week, like most of my friends list is just people playing Elden
Like
Ring,
that's,
including my wife. My wife was just playing it last night, so
yeah. I saw her playing. I was like, "Oh, I wonder if Rich got it too."
I
So,
did not yet.
not
I'm
yet.
I'm getting very, very close. It's probably going to be pretty soon here, but yeah, I haven't picked it up yet. But I'll probably be joining the masses of people who are playing Elden Ring.
I'm curious to hear your opinion on it. So, which is too crazy, being the best-selling game in February because there was quite a few big games that released in February, and the fact that Elden Ring released on the 25th
At
day of
the
the month
end,
out of 28 days
yep,
in February,
and just went bam,
and
instant
just
bestseller.
yeah, and just
Yep,
I mean, this thing went up against things like Horizon, I almost said Zero Dawn, the
Forbidden
Forbidden West.
West, and yep,
Um,
that's why they got
Probably
all
not as
salty.
big, but the new
Probably got all salty
yeah,
about it, like we talked about last week.
yeah.
Yep.
Not as big, but I know it was supposed. It's their bigger expansion release. Destiny 2 had their Witch Queen expansion come out, and plenty of other games. So it's pretty crazy that in 4 days they became the best selling game of February. So props to
Yep.
them. That's exciting.
Good for them.
And now onto the meat and potatoes of the game.
And now something you'll really like.
Yep.
Me and Matt probably bitching about Halo some more. All right.
I don't have a ton to bitch about this, but my opinion hasn't changed much. Uh,
No, neither.
South by Southwest was, I guess, as of you listening to this, would be about a week ago, and they released a trailer 2 for Halo the series. Um, but it was I think a longer trailer than the first one. It was about 2 minutes 20 seconds or something like that. Let's hit play here. What's it say?
Yep.
2 minutes and 15 seconds, 16 seconds.
It was a proper
Um,
trailer.
it was it was a lot better than the first one. What did you think about it?
The trailer?
Yeah,
Oh man, it really is not selling me on it. Like maybe it's one of those I'm gonna hate it regardless if it's good or not, but I don't want to hate it. I mean, I know that's probably what some people would say is that I'm ready to hate it already, so therefore it's gonna be bad to me anyway. The thing the thing I'm not really feeling about it is that it just seems to me that it's going to be more so Halo in name and iconography. And
yeah,
that's it. That is as far as it goes. You're going to have recognizable character names, costumes, and maybe a little bit of soundtrack. And then that's as much Halo as it's probably going to be. I don't suspect that I don't suspect that this show is really going to be anything like good or substantial. In fact, it'll probably be about as good as something like Halo Nightfall. That's just my guess.
yeah. Hopefully, a little better CGI, but
Here,
and writing.
I just want to drop this on you so far. So we got out of the critics have already seen it.
Yeah, the
All
first
right.
episode, I think it was. They've seen, or was it the
Maybe
first two?
I don't know. It just says season 1. So this is season 1. I'm gonna post I'm gonna post a screenshot for you. This is what critics think of it so far. It says, this is from Rotten Tomatoes. Critic consensus: Halo is too derivative of better science fiction series to emerge a fully formed elite, but glimmers of promise and faithfulness to the source material signal it's not out of the fight just yet. It's got a 59% on the tomato meter from critics. So, like I said, iconography, it's the Halo name. It's going to have recognizable characters, costumes,
Mm-hmm.
props, things like that. But I think probably as far as like story and things like that wise, it's gonna like it's not really going to be that recognizable in terms, or it's not going to be anything substantial, is what I'm trying to say. It's not going to be
Yeah.
anything that's going to blow us away. It's just going to be people running around in Halo costumes, acting really melodramatically. That was the one takeaway I had from the trailer. It's just like, this show looks like it's just so dramatic. It's so over the top dramatic. Like, oh my god, I don't have anything left. It's nothing but rage. What are we gonna do? We can't let the truth out. They're gonna tear us all apart. Like, it's just, oh my, it's like watching Calculon try to act in a Halo movie, is what it's
Yeah.
like.
I'm trying to stay, what I said to Buddy earlier, cautiously optimistic. Like, this, to me, trailer 2 was much better than trailer 1 or the silly little, what was it, Super Bowl teaser thing. Those things just did not make me feel good about it. I did miss that trailer 2 did not have our favorite character, the Chevy Tahoe. At least I didn't see it. And I didn't see anybody pop up online saying they
That's
spotted it.
true.
But
Yeah, I didn't
so
see any Chevy Tahoes in this one.
so hopefully Tahoe comes back and is a big part of the series. But um, like, the problem I'm having with it right now, and some of the information that's slowly coming out from 343 and the people at Paramount and stuff through interviews and stuff, is it's this whole thing that 343 has been trying to do since they took over, is humanize John 117. Who is Master Chief? It's like, we all know who Master Chief is. We don't have to go on this journey to discover who he is, right?
We've spent, the last 3 and change game. Yeah, we've spent the last 3 games
Trying to discover
hang
who.
out with him. We kind
Yeah.
of get the idea. Yeah. No,
And
it's gonna be like all it is, like, and if this is true that it's just too derivative of just other science fiction, it's just got like, that was kind of the fear that I had with this show, is that it was just gonna be a generic sci-fi show with
yeah.
Halo stamped on it. Like,
Well,
that's it.
talking about your critics there and the Rotten Tomatoes, like 343 wants to see good reviews by both parties, because a lot of their changes that they're making, they're obviously trying to make it a little more approachable by people who haven't played the game. Those would probably be mostly the critics. So it'll be interesting once us, the audience, and once we see it, if how those reviews are, because at least initially with the critics, you'd want that to be like a 70 or 80 at minimum, and same with the user score, because then at least you know that they're kind of on the same page. And you could probably argue you're pleasing both crowds, but it's not a good look right now if it's in the 50s with the critics, where if you want to broaden the appeal of Halo, and again, we can talk about how we trust or don't trust critics and reviewers and all that, for a whole episode probably, but like, you still probably want that number a little higher from critics. So it's going to be a little worrying. But yeah, that was the other thing about this trailer that kind of got me too, was it's just I feel there's going to be a lot of forced drama, and or they're just trying to make it too much of a drama than just an action show. I don't know, an action sci-fi show. I don't know. I think they're going to try to delve too deep into who is Master Chief, and it's going to be like, yeah,
Yeah, I'm just kind
not,
of paging through some of these reviews just to see what people are saying, and there's stuff like, the frustrating thing about Halo is that it tries to serve 2 masters. It tries to be faithful to the Halo diehards and tries to get newbies in who are used to normal rhythms of sci-fi, and it really just doesn't do good in either department. Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Again, we have plans to watch through it and share our opinions, good or bad, about it. They did show a little bit more kind of CGI. They did show a prophet in this one. What do you think about how the prophet looks?
Oh yeah, that was like the best part of the trailer. Like the prophet, and like the little, like the shot where I think you see the back of one of the elites, and he's standing in front of the three prophets. I
Hmm.
think that's one of the shots in the trailer, and it just looks phenomenal. Like it looks
Yeah,
really, really cool, and the profit looked really, really good. And I think that was probably the only thing I really liked about it.
yeah. My worry is, um, I know they're kind of changing things along the way, but the first season, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the silver timeline, because I think I think the series, the silver timeline, they're starting here with it essentially before it's before Reach. I don't know if Harvest has happened yet, or if it happens in this universe. Harvest, for those who don't know, is where uh, the humans first came in contact with the Covenant. So it's going to be kind of curious to see how that fits in there, or even if some of those events happen. But I think that some of the other bit I'm a little worried about is we're gonna we're gonna have a lot more of the season spent on the UNSC fighting insurrectionists instead of, or was it? I think yeah. So they were, yeah, in, I'm sure, or were they rebels? I don't know. Whatever. People that didn't agree with the UNSC. They're going to be spending too much time at the show, you know, worrying about that, which is an interesting part in the story. But everybody wants to see Spartan v aliens. So
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, we'll end up seeing. But are you excited to watch it? I mean, I'm gonna watch it regardless.
again, I'm hoping it's going to be good. I'm
Me
hoping
too.
I'm going to be
It
wrong.
airs this Thursday as
Whenever
of this recording.
yeah, whenever I say, things, have strong opinions about certain things like Halo or other games, it's more out of hopes that I'm wrong and that that things are actually good. So I'm really
Right.
hoping the Halo series is uh, entertaining, I guess, at least, right? Maybe
Yeah.
not good, but isn't bad and makes me. I hope it puts me at worst in the same position I was with the Mandalorian's season one. It's like, hey, this is good. This
Yeah.
is a good start, but there's room to improve, and I hope they do that. So
Right. And I'm hoping. Well, I'm hoping it leans more on the side of Mandalorian and not on the side of Boba Fett.
I'm
Let's
watching
just
through that series now.
references, but it doesn't matter because it's just all garbage anyway.
Are we gonna end this off with talking Boba and Mando?
Maybe.
I haven't. I'm on the.
Which episode are you on?
I'm on 6. There's 7 of them, aren't there?
There are
Boba Fett.
7. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm almost towards the end, but no, that was definitely watching through Boba. I was like, is this about Boba or is this about other
That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping it's more Mando, less Boba Fett. Well, because like
it
the nice
also.
thing about watching Mandalorian, right, is that like there's a lot of familiar stuff in there. There's a lot of like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, like I know that thing and I know that. Oh, that's I know what a lot of this stuff is, but there's a lot of like new stuff to it. Like
Yeah.
we get to see, like we know of Mandalorians and things like that, but we get to dive deeper into one focused Mandalorian that isn't Boba Fett. He's very, like Creed driven. You get to see
Mhm.
sort of like what the Mandalorians are doing in the underground sort of thing. Like there's a lot of new other elements too that are adding on top of this. It sounds like Halo's not doing that. It's just
Yeah.
like here's some dudes in Spartan costume, yeah, here's people in Spartan costumes and UNSC uniforms, and hey, it's sci-fi, baby. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I'm too cynical to think that this is going to be good, and no, like just saying, I don't think Paramount has had a very good track record with adapting major franchises. I'll leave that as it is.
Between that and whatever it's been now, 10, 12 years of 343, I think that's why we're both a little
Cynical.
cynical.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Especially
Uh
coming off of the Halo Infinite launch and all that. Like,
yep.
yeah, we're feeling a little salty, a little cynical right now.
Since we're gonna dip in here for a little bit more, since we're talking Halo, I saw today somebody was like, "We're whatever. We're halfway through March, and we still don't have the January update." And then somebody in the comments was like, "January update? That was the December update that got pushed to January." The January, oh, that's right. We haven't had this roadmap update that was due out in December, and now it's halfway through March. Anyways, we'll stop shitting on Halo.
There will be more time for that.
There's plenty of time for that. We got plenty of content of Halo coming up here too. So, but that's I think the end of our episode here. Unless I missed anything, is there any last words, Rich?
I don't think so. Let's just pray that the Halo TV series isn't bad.
Yep, I really hope it's good, or again, at least entertaining. So, on that note, as per usual, you can find us on the campfiregamingpodcast.com, where we have links to all our socials such as YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Discord. Come join us on Discord and chat with us. We'd love to have you. And again, thanks for joining us as we talked crypto, video games, Halo, and TV, and Star Wars, and Boba Fett, and Mandalorian. So it was a pleasure having you, and we will see you next time around the campfire.